Berg,
Hello.
what are you doing on my Zoom? What happened?
I was transported here.
Yes. How are things at Alpha Centauri, by the way?
It
You weren't expecting that question, were you?
was not.
I tried to prepare you. All right. So we've been friends for, gosh, at least 10 years, probably more like 15.
What year is it now?
Nobody knows. Yeah,
And
2025.
so I think we've known each other like 15 or 18 years. It's
Okay.
2004.
Oh, you were there before we were.
Yeah.
You're such a show off. Why do you think that makes you better? What do you do vocationally?
I work with kids with disabilities for a program called Early Intervention. So my whole career worked with children, long time focus with children with disabilities, specifically young children. And now I work for the state in an administrative role in that program.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I'm asking the fine strangers at Aunt Alice's restaurant. And first one is, what makes a good mom?
I would say a mom that exhibits the fruit of the spirit in her relationships with her kids, those are the great attributes of maintaining a healthy relationship, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control, all those. You can
Yeah.
exhibit those in your relationships with your kids and value your relationship with your kids as much as you do others. That makes a good mom.
Yeah. Or maybe before you even do with others. If you can start there, that would be crazy. That's hard to do, though, isn't it? Or is it easy for you?
Yeah. No, it's not easy for me, but I think, there's different seasons when different pieces are easier, right?
Yeah.
Love and joy for those newborns. You just look at them and snuggle, and the patience is not that hard with a newborn, right? Peace might be hard with a newborn.
Hey guys, Alex here. I am down by the Safeway, Longmont Fire Station, talking to folks about what makes a good mom, what sort of attributes or characteristics, and then just to talk a little bit about their own mom. What's your name?
Donovan,
Donovan, thanks for helping. What's your dog's name?
Buddy B.
Buddy B?
Yeah.
All right, so Mother's Day weekend's coming up. In your opinion, what makes a good mom? Okay.
One that takes time.
Takes time for their kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
One that believes in their kid too.
Believes in their kids. That's awesome.
That believes in their dreams, no matter
dreams.
what. Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
Ray,
Ray? Okay, thanks for helping me. In your opinion, what would you say makes a good mom?
oh, a kind, supportive, nurturing
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah. What's your name?
Drew.
Drew, thanks for helping me. So, in your opinion, what would you say makes for a good mom?
What makes for a good mom?
Yeah. What kind of characteristics or attributes makes
My
a good
mother
mom?
was an angel, raised 4 kids. We grew up on a ranch.
Huh.
And I miss her. She was literally unique. And
Can you tell me a little bit about your mom? What was your mom like?
I'm from a verbally abusive family, so
Okay.
I kind of grew up a little bit different than everybody else, I think.
Yep.
She worked 3 jobs. She was never at home. My dad
Yeah.
wasn't ever there, so
Yeah. She's fighting to provide, but
Yeah.
kept her from being the other things.
Yeah.
Maybe she wanted to be or couldn't be or whatever.
exactly. And I don't hold her accountable. I don't hold her accountable for that.
Yeah.
I love her.
You forgiven her or you
Oh,
love
yeah.
her? Yeah. Where are you
My
from?
mom.
Just tell me a little bit about your mom. What was your mom like? Or is she like? I don't know. She's
Passed away.
okay.
But she's not a good example of a good mom. She was mentally ill,
Okay.
so she was crazy and mean.
Okay.
But I grew from it. I really,
Yeah.
I used to really, dislike her and have bad feelings towards her. But
You worked through it.
I worked through it.
Yeah.
I realized that, she struggled and
Yeah.
with her illness.
Do you think she tried, or she just threw in the towel, or do you really know?
I don't think she really tried to be a good person. I think that she had, part of it was mental illness. Part of it is, I think she was a very selfish person.
Okay. Yeah.
But, in some ways it helped me.
Yeah.
I've been a psychotherapist
Okay.
for the last 45 years.
So you've helped a lot of people because of what you had to figure out.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, turning something into gold, you know.
Yeah, well, thank you. You know, people ask me, when did you start counseling? I said I was about 3.
My mom never had a job and never worked.
Yeah, she just took care of
But
the
wow,
kids.
but when I moved to Boulder 30 years ago and had kids, she used to send boxes, you know, once a month, once every couple months, with clothes and things she picked up.
That's awesome.
And yes, but what an amazing woman.
Cool.
But, so
right.
what's your name?
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you and
Nice
thank
to
you.
meet you too. I work at a church, and so we'll be talking about Mom's Day. And
So Alex, let me ask you something.
all right.
If I give you a couple bucks, my truck got towed out of here. I was going to take the.
Yeah, you need a ride somewhere?
I live at 17th and Hover, though.
Yeah, I'll give you a ride.
Will you? Oh
Yeah.
my God! What can I buy you in the store?
Nothing.
What was your mom like? That's the second question.
Yeah, so my mom, I think we've talked a little bit about this, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit in my sermon on Sunday. But I was adopted, and I found my birth mother. So I have a mom and I have a mother. So I'll talk about my mom. And my mom that raised me was a little bit older when I was adopted, so she was 45. And she had a lot of those things down, peace and patience and kindness and goodness. She was not a believer that I know of, except that years after she died, I found a baptism record from a Lutheran church where she was baptized as an adult, and she never spoke of that. So, yeah, that was interesting. But she was a major kid person, loved kids, had foster children in her home, had childcare, home childcare. Now we would call it friend, family, and neighbor childcare. But back then it was just, taking care of kids in her home. And
Did she have biological kids of her own?
yeah, three sons, and then just was an amazing grandma too to my kids. Like, she was the kind of grandma that would play unlimited games. We played a lot of games at home, so sometimes, she'd wake up and we'd already have a game set out at the table, and we'd be, on Saturday she'd want to sleep in, and we'd have a game set out and be eating our cereal, waiting for Mom to come to play a game. So.